Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for checking out the video. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that I just saw on Reddit, on the Gain It subreddit. The Gain It subreddit is basically a subreddit that just talks everything that has to do with gaining weight. So if you're really skinny and you want to put on some size, that's kind of what the entire subreddit is about, okay? Now, the question that I'm going to be answering is titled, Am I Eating Too Much? Okay. Now, before I actually get started with answering this question, I do want to point out that I personally have been working out for just over a year now. So I wouldn't call myself a complete expert on anything that has to do with nutrition, training, fitness, any of that stuff. However, I have gotten pretty good results for myself within the year that I have been working out and eating and just doing all the fitness stuff correctly. But do take everything that I have to say in this video with a little bit of a grain of salt and just realize, I'm not like a doctor or anything crazy like that. But anyways, let's go ahead and answer this guy's question. So the question he asked again is, am I eating too much? Now, it's kind of a funny question if you really think about it, right? Like, am I eating too much? Realistically, if you have to ask yourself if you're eating too much, if you kind of think you are, you probably are. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into this guy's post. So he says, I'm a 16-year-old male, I'm 6'4" and 147 pounds, okay? Now, just to put this in perspective, I know you can't really tell in this video, I personally am 6'5", and right now I weigh a little over 205 pounds. And so I'm just barely taller than this guy, and he's about 50 pounds less than me. And for the most part, I'm actually still pretty on the skinnier side of the weight spectrum. So just to put that in perspective, this guy is actually quite a bit skinnier than I am. So he says, I'm 6'4", I'm 147 pounds. And a month ago, I decided that I wanted to get bigger or at least reach a healthy weight. Now, first thing I want to say is congratulations on wanting to get bigger. I think that's absolutely awesome. I know the exact position that you are in right now because I was there literally just over a year ago. So that is awesome. He says he wants to reach a healthy weight, but he wants to also tone his muscles. That is good. Okay. He says, I'm extremely skinny, but I don't have visible abs. Does this mean that I have a high body fat percentage? Now, here's kind of my take on it, okay? When you can't see your abs, that is true. Most of the time when you can't see your abs, it's because you have too high of a body fat percentage, okay? Now, another thing that could be happening, and I'm not saying this is you, it's kind of hard to judge because you didn't upload a picture, so I can't really tell. But another reason that you might not be able to see your abs that well is if your ab muscles are literally just very small because you've never done any form of exercise to make them grow, right? Because your abs, just like every other muscle, can grow, right? Like they're not going to get as big as your chest muscles, obviously, but your ab muscles can grow, right? That is a fact. Now, he says he doesn't have visible abs, but he's very skinny. Now, one thing that I want to point out is when I started just over a year ago, I also thought I was very skinny. Now, the thing is, you probably are skinny, right? Like you're 6'4" and you're 147 pounds. However, keep in mind that it is possible for you to be slightly skinny fat, right? They call it quote unquote skinny fat. Now, when I started, if you look at my pictures when I very first started getting into fitness, I indeed was skinny fat, right? From the outside, when I was wearing clothes and stuff, I looked like I was very, very scrawny, very small, right? But my belly, I had, a decent amount of belly fat at my belly. And my whole life, I grew up just believing, I was just skinny, right? And everywhere else I was skinny. However, I was what they call skinny fat. So again, I don't really know what your situation is because I can't see a picture of you, but do keep in mind that it definitely is possible that you could be a slightly higher body fat percentage than you might want to be. So next thing he says, I've been eating about 3,500 to 4,000 calories per day and working out about 6 days per week, okay? Now, one thing that I do want to point out here, when you say you're eating 3,500 to 4,000 calories, when I first started working out, I did the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, I actually started off with eating 4,500 calories a day, okay? I just went absolutely nuts with it. I was like, I'm just gonna eat a ton of food and get huge, right? Now, one thing that I do want to make clear, and if you get anything from this video, it would be this, okay? The fitness industry has this really big misconception when it comes to building muscle, that it's kind of the mindset of the more I eat, the bigger I get, right? Now, while that is true, it is not the big that, in my opinion, it's not the big that you would want to be, okay? So just so you're aware, when I first started working out, again, like I said, I just went ham and I was eating 4,500 calories per day. And I started gaining weight really fast, right? I'd step on the scale every morning and I was like, wow, and I could see my weight going up. And it was the first time in my life where I was like, wow, I'm actually gaining weight. The problem with that is about 2 months in of me eating 4,500 calories a day, and I was very strict with it. I made sure I had 4,500 calories a day. The problem was about 2 months in, I take my shirt off and, I had a nice little belly, right? So while I did gain weight, most of it was actually fat. So one thing that you need to get through your head is just because you're eating more food doesn't mean that you're going to get bigger muscles. You are going to gain weight. And if you are like actually really, really, really skinny and you don't mind having a little bit of fat on you, I would say by all means, keep eating that 4,000 calories a day. However, you did mention in the previous sentence that you wanted to have visible abs, or you mentioned something about your abs. And so if you want abs, in my opinion, I would not be eating that many calories. So then he asked, is this too many calories? Again, I kind of just answered that. If you want to be able to see your abs, I probably wouldn't eat that many calories. If you don't really care, you just want to put on some size and you don't care if a lot of it's fat, then by all means, keep eating that many calories. He says, if I continue to eat this much, am I going to get fat? Again, I just answered it. The answer is yes. It does depend on your maintenance calories, but looking at your height and weight, I'm pretty sure 4,000 calories is way over your maintenance calories. So yes, you are going to get pretty fat. And you say, I'm trying to get bigger, but I also want to get lean. Is that possible? The answer to that question is yes. It is possible to gain muscle while staying lean without getting fat, right? Again, it's a huge misconception in the fitness world that, oh, the more that I eat, the bigger I get, and I'm going to be huge, right? When I first started working out and I gained like a bunch of weight in the first 2 months when I was eating all those excess calories, I cut and I trimmed it off. And ever since then, I've maintained a pretty low body fat percentage while still building muscle up. So in my opinion, at least, you don't need to be eating a crazy amount of food in order to get bigger muscles. And it is totally possible to get bigger muscles while staying at a lower body fat percentage. So to sort of sum this entire video up, in all honesty, man, if you're listening to this video, here's my advice for you, okay? Do not be tempted to be eating a ton of calories unless you feel like you need to, right? I know the exact position that you are in right now because, again, I was there just over a year ago. I know exactly how you feel. You just want to eat everything on the planet, right? And the fitness world kind of tells you, eat big to get big. And you want to go out and just eat all these calories. But 2 months into doing that, you're going to look down at your stomach and you're going to be like, well, is that really worth it, right? Because like I gained weight, it's like 80% fat. And sure, like I gained a little bit of muscle. But at least in my opinion, that is completely not worth it and it's unnecessary, right? You can get bigger muscles while staying lean. It is totally possible. But anyways, that is all I really wanted to say in this video. Hopefully it helped you out. Hopefully whoever's watching this, you learned something new from it. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to be posting tons of videos just like this in the future. And if you learned something new, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like on the video as well. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Peace out.